Hey, out there in Radio Free Land, I'm Kyle Hoyer, and with me as always is Evan Lawrence.
Hello, hello. And we are joined today by Mr. Scott Gaeta. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
That didn't
Pretty
sound too
good, yeah.
enthusiastic,
Okay.
but I'll take it. You know, we're all a little tired from Gen Con and such.
Yeah, I was wheeled on here.
Gen Con and Comic-Con.
And DecipherCon, being at Gen Con, it was a con bonanza.
I got to tell you, the most exhausting day for me at Gen Con was Sunday.
Yeah.
I had to, hang out with Brad Dourif.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And go out to lunch with him and get some dinner with him and drive him to the airport and, just basically talk with him all day. It was exhausting.
Yep.
Yeah, it looked miserable.
Okay, there was some sarcasm
You're
there,
just
but
a martyr.
It was really cool hanging out with all the Brad Dourif especially, but all the celebrities we had at Gen Con. And so let's go right in and talk about the cons a little bit. Let's start with San Diego.
Okay.
Since that's where I last left off.
Yeah. Now you didn't go, did you, Scott?
No, they made me stay home.
He was supposed to, but the reason why he had to stay home was what we'll get to in a little bit, why Scott's on the show today.
Okay.
But basically, Comic-Con was, as usual, a blast. I love that show. It is enormous now. It got coverage in every major everything. It was on the cover of USA Today, like the day the show opened.
Yeah, I heard People Magazine, Entertainment Weekly.
Really? Yeah, literally Comic-Con is becoming such a massive event in the entertainment industry that it's a can't miss show. So, but of course we ran a premiere series there, which Mike Dalton from New Jersey won. And
an interesting precursor of things to come.
Yes. And Comic-Con for us is a little bit lightly attended as far as tournaments go, but we still had a fairly decent turnout. A lot of the international people that we see at some of the other shows don't usually attend Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun nevertheless, and we were in the Lord of the Rings Pavilion once again at the show this year. Along other Lord of the Rings licensees like Sideshow and Games Workshop and TheOneRing.net, although they're not a licensee, and EA and the Nova Collection and
pavilion this year?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's all these Lord of the Rings licensees all in the same area, all promoting Lord of the Rings. It was really cool. And we did this really cool thing where all of the licensees got together and created this envelope. We all stuffed literature, like we put a fan club magazine in there, and there were coupons in there, and there was like a little ticket, like a raffle ticket in each one, and we handed them out during the New Line presentation on Saturday of the show, where they showed the first clips of Return of the King and all this stuff, and we made up like 4,500 of these envelopes and handed them
now, when
all
you
out.
say we, you mean Decipher.
No. Mostly Decipher, but Sideshow helped out. Sideshow helped out a lot as well as Houghton Mifflin and the EA guys. So it was a joint project.
It was a nice geek care package.
Yeah. And so the little raffle ticket was 30 people out of all those 4,500. We pulled 30 random tickets. And actually 31, and 30 of those people won like this prize package that all of the Lord of the Rings licensees kicked into. It was like $1,000 worth of merchandise.
Jeez.
And one person won a replica sword that Weta made up there on the stage as the presentation was going on.
Wow.
So it was really
cool.
And we're looking to make it even bigger and better next year. So it's going to be exciting.
Very nice.
Once again, San Diego Comic-Con is almost at this point a can't miss show. If you're into entertainment at all. We were also doing demos on the Bandai booth again. There was an anime pavilion, and there was a Star Wars pavilion, and there was a Lord of the Rings pavilion, and there was a million celebrities. It was like Halle Berry and Hugh Jackman and Angelina Jolie and Kevin Smith. All these like huge people were there, promoting various things. And the first clips of Spider-Man 2 they showed there, it was just, it's amazing. It's an amazing show. So
it's a pop culture extravaganza.
Well done.
There you go.
Good times.
So,
and then you left from there.
From there, we went. A bunch of us went straight to Indianapolis for Gen Con / DecipherCon.
Yes.
And there again, good times and big events going on there. The World Championships for many things that we were doing.
Yes.
Including Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, Austin Powers.
Yes.
The Arwen tournament.
All the Hines brothers dressed up.
The pictures of Chris
disturbing.
Hines as gold members just ridiculously funny.
But They actually drew like 40 players to an
40
Austin
players.
Powers event. It was impressive.
That's pretty cool. And the Arwen tournament, which is the all-female championship, and I forget her name right now, but Matthew Brochu's girlfriend won for the second year in a row, thereby asserting her dominance
over Matthew.
Yeah, not even Matthew can win twice.
That's right.
But let's see, for Lord of the Rings, Michael Dalton won again. So not only is he the one of only 2 people to repeat winning pro major level events, but he did it back to back. He won San Diego, and then the very next week he won the World Championship.
I think he's going to be tough to catch in the Premier Point race.
Yeah, because he took second in Vegas. He took second in Atlanta last year.
I think total, at least lifetime Premier Points, the last I saw, he has something like 84 Premier Points. So he's way up there.
Where did he finish in? He finished in top 16 of Origins as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So every year this year he's finished.
Every event this year he's finished in the top 16, and he's had 2 second places in the first place. Yeah. And the first place was at the World Championships. It's amazing.
And he's placed top 8 in like a bunch of PSQs too. So,
very nice.
Yeah.
So lots of Premier Points for Mr. Dalton. So congratulations to Mike Dalton. It was a very long into the morning tournament against
Robert Schermeyer.
Robert Schermeyer from Colorado. They finished. I think they started around 10. Is that right? And finished at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, somewhere 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Long into the morning.
I was there past the second game, but I couldn't make it to the end.
You start getting nappy that time of the morning.
But good for them for playing it through.
And tell us a little bit about Star Trek. Now, Evan, you were actually up on the podium.
I
was
a commentator.
A commentator.
Yes, as opposed to those newfangled taters. I don't know. Anyway,
that is awesome humor.
Thank you. It's all I got right now. Matthew Freed won in the final confrontation against Hayes Hunter. They had met once before, I believe, on an earlier day of the competition.
Twice before.
On an earlier day of the competition.
Okay, right.
Then they met again on the day prior to their final best of 3.
And they had gone 1-1.
They had gone 1-1 prior to the final showdown, which Matthew Freed swept 2-0, and it was a really good game to watch. It kind of really underscored the importance of dilemmas in a high level game like that, because and actually it was interesting to watch the deck lists kind of change from day to day. We got to see what players were doing, and very few changes made to the draw deck unless people were changing out their strategy entirely, but the dilemma piles morphed a little bit every single day. But it ended up very much being a contest decided by who paid better attention to their opponent, who knew how to use their dilemmas against them. They both did a good job. Obviously, Hayes has excelled at just about every Decipher game he's laid his hands on.
He was the first person to break the 2,000 barrier for Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
He was the 2002 North American Continental Champion. He won many high-level events.
He
for
may
Star Wars.
on the strength of his wins at the World Championship, he may cross or get very close to 2,000 for second edition as well. He swept day 3. He didn't lose on day 3 until the final confrontation, and also obviously did very well on the earlier days of competition. So, very good player there.
I think a lot of people were surprised to see him over there playing in the Star Trek World Championships.
Yeah, well, he said he could do it, and he certainly proved that.
That's right.
And Matthew, of course, proved that he had learned from his mistake earlier, and then swept Hayes in the final. It was a very good game to watch.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Matthew Freed hangs out with the Minnesota contingent of Chris Oxby and Matt Harrington and all those guys.
I got to speak with Chris a lot about that. They kind of told me stories about Matthew getting started a few years earlier with First Edition and kind of ripping off of Chris's decks and such, and learning from that. And now Chris freely admitted that he wanted to rip this deck off of Matthew that he designed about 3 months ago, and they've all been refining it since Energize came out, and I think they knew all along that this is what they were going to take to the World Championships. And I'm proud to say that Call to Arms is just going to completely mess it up because they actually sent us the deck list to a couple months ago to kind of help us in our design and our testing, and they said, try this out. Brad played it, and I crushed it actually using a dilemma pile of nothing but Call to Arms dilemmas, and it just wouldn't make it through. But but props to Matthew for now, because it's good stuff. So there you go. Congratulations to our world champions.
And again, the booth was overfilled the entire weekend, not only with
it was
the demonstrations, but with the signing appearances of Sean Astin, John Rhys Davies, and of course Brad Dourif, who had quite a few signings on the booth. So really, really active. And some of the criticism of DecipherCon this year was that it didn't feel like DecipherCon. It just felt like we were doing events at Gen Con. And you know what? There's some validity to those comments, and we have learned from what went on this year, and ways to improve what we did. And you know what? Next year we're going to be on fire.
Very cool. Looking forward to it.
We're going to have all kinds of really cool things for everybody at DecipherCon at Gen Con. So.
Okay, so we turn now to Scott. You're kind of point man on a couple of announcements we made at Gen Con, so to speak. You want to pick one and talk about it?
Sure. Why don't we start with Beyblade?
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be doing a card game based on the Beyblade spinning tops and cartoon and all that.
Now, I suspect everyone listening to this is probably scratching their head, because this is certainly not the sort of thing that would hit existing Decipher customers.
For
but
those
in
of
brief,
you that have younger brothers or
exactly.
sisters,
or
around
perhaps
the
in some
14
cases
or younger,
children,
right? 14 or younger, then you might know of this. If not, go talk to them about it, because they'll know for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I mean, it's on ABC Family. It's like their #1 rated show. And it's all over the place.
9 times a week.
Yeah, 9 times a week.
It's pretty big for them.
Yeah, I mean, my 6-year-old, he loves it. He thinks it's really cool. But that's the audience that we're going after. This is an entry-level card game. It's definitely not for our hardcore card game players.
Right.
But for their little brothers and sisters and kids. Yeah, definitely.
And I think we pretty seriously mean that this time. I know we've said, for example, that .hack Enemy is a little bit easier to get into as well, and yet, at the same time, there's some strategic depth that we have found that a number of our longtime Decipher gamers have really responded to, actually, in demos. But I don't expect that to be the case for Beyblade.
No, .hack, I think, is more like in between somewhere. And, Beyblade is definitely for,
your first CCG.
That's right. This is your first CCG.
Okay. Well, you got to get them started somewhere.
Exactly.
I got to tell you, I'm really excited about Beyblade, though, because, number one, I have a short attention span, and it was a fun game. But
and I hear you. If you don't read, this game might be good for you too.
And I had fun breaking a card yesterday.
It was nothing we didn't know was already broken. But you know what? You enjoy that while it lasts.
Those design guys, they give us empty victories.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. But there's also, not really since Pokemon have we seen as big of a marketing push from multiple angles as we're going to see with Beyblade this fall. So, Scott, give us a little bit of info on what all is going to be happening.
Sure.
And a roundabout when we're going to see the Beyblade TCG from Decipher.
Okay. Well, this fall there's going to be 51 new episodes for the TV show. There's going to be a Burger King tie-in. There's going to be a Kellogg's cereal tie-in. There's going to be a Frito-Lay tie-in. There's going to be a Game Boy game. And in the middle of all this, there's going to be a new card game from Decipher right around the holidays.
And didn't I see something from Atari up on the screen? Was there something
yeah,
going on
I think they're developing the Game Boy game.
Oh, are they?
For the Game Boy system. Yeah.
And there's it's all that, and Toys R Us is doing something.
Right. Toys R Us is going to be having tournaments and leagues for the spinning tops in their stores every single week. There's just going to be, and there's a movie coming out too. So.
Yeah. And so every kid between 6 and 14 is going to it's going to be on their radar.
Yeah. This Toys R Us event series is actually just bringing to the U.S. something that's already well in place in Japan. They did their championship event for this in Japan and drew how many?
15,000 players and spectators in Japan. I think that pretty much dwarfs any TCG event ever.
Pretty much.
Yeah, 15,000 screaming, excited kids. So, they know about it.
I think it was just shorter than the line to get in Gen Con.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Ouch.
Probably a slightly smaller weight.
I have a photo of that Gen Con line. It just scared me. I was so glad to not be waiting in it.
Sometimes it's good to be an exhibitor.
Yes.
So Beyblade, we're expecting real big things out of. We were talking to the people that do the French magazine Lotus Noir,
right?
And they said that Yu-Gi-Oh is nothing compared to Beyblade over in France. Like, it's all about Beyblade in France.
Right. And yeah, and Beyblade will be distributing all over the world, everywhere except for Asia. So,
Okay.
Yeah, if you're across the water, you'll be able to get it.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Are we going to have the Beyblade Online TCG? No.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Sure.
Who knows? Okay, very cool. Thanks. And
what else? You got more?
Okay, so why don't you tell us then about the promo cards for .hack Enemy?
Sure. Okay. Similar to what we've done in Lord of the Rings, where you can go into a store and buy some cards and get a Fell Beast card.
Mm-hmm.
For .hack Enemy, stores are going to have 3 exclusive gameplay cards that players will be able to get with their first purchase of .hack. You go in and you spend $20, which is pretty much what it costs to get into a new game. Buy a deck and a few boosters, and you're going to get 3 exclusive cards that you can only get from this promotion.
Yes, and once again, to be clear, these are not preview cards. These are exclusive cards through this promotion.
And this is only like opening weekend.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's while supplies last, but there won't be any refills for these kits. What the retailers get, they sell out, they're gone forever.
So you will want to be sure to hit the stores for those.
Tell your stores to make sure that they pre-order it, because that's how they're going to get in on this promotion.
Okay, so a store has to pre-order, then they get these cards, then they make you happy.
But you've got time to get those pre-orders in, because the product release is not until October.
Right,
so,
October 15th.
But don't drag your feet about it.
That's right.
Additionally, for those of you that are looking forward to seeing what .hack is all about and haven't been able to make it to one of the conventions that we've been doing demonstrations of the game at, very soon in the near future, we will be putting up on the website downloadable versions of the demo decks so that you can print these demo decks out, cut them up, put them together, and just start wailing on each other with them. So
very cool.
It'll have the rules. It'll have all the cards that we've been using at the summer shows. You'll be able to get your first taste of it. So
very nice.
It's going to be really cool as well. Now, I think the .hack area of Decipher.com, the area where you'll start to be able to get all kinds of information about .hack, I believe that starts launching next week.
Okay.
Sure.
So I will be looking forward to it.
Yep.
All right. So
now the big stuff.
Now, let's talk about that crazy Lord of the Rings promotion that's coming up.
Crazy Lord of the Rings promotion.
Crazy huge.
Right. Well, everybody's...
Crazy huge.
Crazy huge, that's the new official term. Well, everybody saw the Where's Tom Bombadil thing, and that's kind of the little prize at the end of the rainbow. Yeah. If you were at Gen Con, you saw the people with the Where's Tom Bombadil stickers and all that good stuff.
What does it all mean, Scott?
Well, what it means is that starting August 25th for 18 weeks, participating retail stores will have 18 newly altered rare cards.
We'll come back to that.
These are not alternate images.
Okay.
What we're calling these, they are enhanced images with totally redesigned templates.
Okay.
They're really, really cool. The art department they came up with stuff that's just fantastic. And there's been a lot of questions as far as, what rare cards are going to be available each week, and I'm going to spoil one of the cards that's in the set.
Okay, but one thing that is the case about all these cards, none of them come from the Fellowship Anthology. Right.
We didn't duplicate anything in the Fellowship Anthology.
Okay.
They're all cards from the Fellowship block and the Two Towers block.
Okay.
And you get your card every week for the first 6 weeks.
Okay.
And at the end of that first 6 weeks, if you have all your little stamps on your checklist, you're going to get a big poster that I just saw this morning that has every single card from the Fellowship block in it.
Okay.
Including promo cards and the cards from pre-releases and all that good stuff. And then after the second 6 weeks, you get all your little stamps, and then you get a free poster from the Two Towers block. And it has all the cards from the Two Towers block, and these are just big, giant posters with every card pictured.
Now, for those familiar with the Fajo collection, it's similar to the poster that was found in there. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger, I think.
Okay.
And then after the third 6 weeks, you have all 18 of your stamps, and you're going to get a coupon where you go to Decipher.com and punch in a number, and you will get a binder that is exclusive to this and will hold all 18 of your cards. And you will also get 4 preview cards, and one of them is going to be Tom Bombadil.
Okay.
And the other 3 cards will be characters that you did not see and will not see in the movies.
Very cool.
And those 3 cards will be spoiled shortly. Or bump, bump, bump. Future edition of RFD.
Just as soon as we're done fighting about who they're going to be.
I know who I want one of them to be. for sure.
Who's that?
I'm not saying.
Oh, I know
Okay.
who you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you took a lot of flack.
Let's just say that Tom Bombadil was easy, and then the gloves came off.
Yeah, pretty much. Everybody has their favorites.
Yes.
But yeah, there's been a lot of questions. I've seen a lot of posts, people asking, well, what's going to be in here? Are these going to be good rares and the whole deal?
So you're going to reveal to us one of the 18.
I'm going to reveal one of the 18.
All right.
And
Now,
then,
one of the reasons that Scott and I were talking about which one to reveal, and one of the reasons I sort of wanted to reveal it is now suddenly not making sense at all. Because the reason I wanted to reveal it was because it had such a great picture, and the way that they redid the picture on the card is so dynamic and makes it pop so much. For me, it's easily the most visually stunning of all of the 18 cards.
You do realize this is called Radio Free Decipher,
and then
right?
suddenly it's dawning on me that, wait.
Right. Well,
I guess I can tell them how cool
those
it
other cards that kind of fit together, that you need two of them to see the whole thing, that's kind of cool, too. But we won't. Yeah.
Well.
But
which card is it?
You can't see those on the radio either.
Right.
Well, one of the cards is going to be Firefoot.
Okay.
And that's going to have the brand new Rohan template.
Uh-huh.
Now, it's interesting about the new Rohan template. Normally, it's like a violet-y, purple something color, and this new one is like, I think there's still some purple in there, but it's so subtle now. It's more like a tannish white purple.
And there's a scale pattern on it.
Yeah, the texture is totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very
now,
cool.
all these cards still have the symbol
right.
in the upper
It still has
right-hand
the
Culture
well-known
symbol.
Rohan horsey there up in the right.
Yeah, there's nothing different. I mean, gameplay hasn't changed. All the card text and the titles are totally the same. But the cool thing about his image is, kind of, is he's kind of coming like out of the frame. He's coming almost like off the card.
The horses, too. The horse is coming out both sides, like the left and right sides, and Eomer's head is popping out the top.
Right. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean,
so it's a dynamic image. In other words, it's like the Balrogs. They're coming out of the frame of the card.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it adds a lot of depth. I mean, the enhancement. I mean, we're really not doing it justice, but these are really just.
So now that we're done poorly describing this, the real question is, when does this program begin so that I might be able to get one of these cards?
August 25th.
All right.
So
but mere weeks away.
Mere weeks away.
Yes.
And very shortly on Decipher.com, we're going to spoil. We've already announced, actually, in the first article, that the very first card in the set is the Balrog, Terror of Flame and Shadow.
Okay.
And we're going to have that card posted. And then each week after that, we will post a new card.
Okay.
So one of the cards is going to be like the Balrog's torso, and one of them is going to be the Balrog's left arm.
Right, and his wing.
Right.
You know, like that. There's that Yu-Gi-Oh
this
card.
This isn't the Exodia card.
No.
No. So.
Okay.
Very cool.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh humor.
Oh.
So that's a full packed episode. Did we get to everything?
Man, I don't know. It's been so long, and there's so much to talk about. And congratulations to all of our world champions, and congratulations to Scott for getting this program going and missing out on San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, that was a
because
real
you
bummer.
had to stay here and finish this thing.
Oh.
And
it was a lot of fun. Good. Like I told everybody, the artists they had a lot of fun on this project.
Yeah, they were really excited about this project and redoing all the templates.
They were. They're begging to do more.
Evan is just backing away from the microphone like, oh, you liars.
I don't want to be associated with this particular myth that you guys are perpetrating.
As soon as I came back from Gen Con, the art department was like, I heard you hung us out to dry.
The part of it that's true is they've actually done an awesome job.
Oh, they have.
As you will see.
Oh,
for
sure.
But they weren't sure of their ability to pull it off as well as they did, perhaps.
They exceeded everyone's
and I think that
expectations.
they actually shot themselves in the foot a little bit, because we came to them with this project and they're like, there's no way we're going to be able to do this in time. There's no way, not in your time frame.
They didn't even feel that they could live up to our expectations.
Right, and they were like, it's impossible. No way, forget it. And then they did it. So now we know.
And they did it better than we thought.
That we can push them as hard as we possibly can, and they'll come through. So
I'm working on many other last-minute things right now. So
excellent.
Yeah, this all, of course, coming right off the rave reviews that the template for the Borg affiliation has been getting on the BBSs as well.
That template was awesome.
Yeah.
When Brad showed it at Gen Con at the PC Summit, it was just incredible.
Yeah, it was very cool. And as well, the Dominion template, we were a little concerned that some fans of First Edition would sort of resent that we hadn't carried over the dun brown the first edition, but we've actually been getting good reviews for that as well.
The funny thing about the Dominion template, a couple people have said this, that when they first saw the where you put the species in the in that little box, that they thought that those were ripples from the Founders pool. Right. And then when they found out they were Vorta-Ear, they were like, oh, well, it would have been cooler if it were ripples in the Dominion pool.
They actually did try
pool.
They did actually try and do, I think it was the text box or perhaps the background texture as that Founder pool, but you really could not tell what it was. I mean, it just kind of, if you didn't know, you probably couldn't tell, and it just didn't read.
And those guys downstairs won't settle.
And actually, there's another way of looking at that whole Vorta-Ear thing. Personally, I see it looks more like the underside of the attack ship to me, the Jem'Hadar attack ship. It's got this weird little ridging on its underbelly that who knows what it is, but it is very Dominion. So in any case, kudos to the art team, and they do visit the board, so you'll want to go ahead and post your messages there if you've got good words to send their way.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Scott, for dropping by today and giving us lots of good info.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And all that stuff. And we will talk at you next week.